welcome to another Money Morning Routine. All right, so my bank today was down. I wasn't able to log in to get updated on my checking account expense tracker, which is fine. I can do that tomorrow. But what I did want to do is spend some time today to get updated with my cash spending, because yesterday, if you watch my Instagram, I'll go over everything I got on my grocery haul yesterday. But it was kind of a weird grocery haul. Let me show you why. So here's my food envelope, and here is my receipt from yesterday from Fred Meyer. And you can see that I spent a total of, right here, $173.13, but $59 of that was right here in yellow. It was sleepwear, some clothes that I bought for Dante. So technically, the amount that I spent on food was only $114 out of that. So let's just go ahead and count how much cash I have left in my food envelope. All right, so I have $536 here, and no fives in that. So $536, I'm gonna write that down before I forget, $536. So if we take the $665 that I had minus the $536, that minus $119. So even though it was $114, I'm off a little bit because I had to take cash from the remaining cash that I have from my rollover cash envelopes, and it didn't quite equal the 59, so I'm a little bit off, but that's okay. So I'm gonna put 610, or it was actually 69 yesterday, and Fred Meyer, because I wanted to, even though because here's what happened. I went to Fred Meyer, I paid for it in cash, and when I got home, like, oh, that wasn't all for food. And so I would have done two separate transactions had I noticed that I was paying for two different categories in one transaction. But so I just got home, I took the cash that I could with the bills that I had in my cash that I had left over from my spending envelopes from last time. And it didn't quite equal the 59. It was exactly $59.40 that I spent on the pajamas for Dante. And so I just took what I could with that. So that's okay if I'm about $4 off. That's not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and, all right, so you can see here, I had Fred Meyer. So $51 is what I took from that cash that I had. So I had $285 that I rolled over from last month, and then another $213 from selling clothes that I had just in extra spending cash. Well, I already spent $189 of that as well. So I found $51 of that, which is as close as I could get to the 59 with the bill denominations that I had. So I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little bit off by $4. I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead now. We need to track the Fred Meyer purchase. So 6-9 Fred Meyer food for $119. Okay, so $536 is what I have left to spend for that. I also want to get updated with my highlighting, so I'm going to do that right now. All right, so I'm going to scan my receipt into Fetch Rewards. That's done. My cash spending has been completely done as well. I still haven't spent anything from my other cash envelopes yet, but I know I will. I'm going to go ahead and get highlighted on this small transaction. Hopefully by tomorrow, my bank will be back up. Besides getting updated with my cash spending now that that's completely done, I do want to start now. As I've said before, I have my July calendar done. And because of that, I just want to start my July paycheck budget. I know for a fact we can put my TBM paycheck in there for $7,200. I just don't know if I'm going to be rolling over any cash, unused cash from June into July. We will see as far as my inflow goes, but I can at least get my expenses written down. There is one thing that I do want to do in June. I want to get my calendar filled in, so I'm not behind on that. Yesterday we did grilled cheese and tomato soup, so I'm gonna write that down. Today we'll probably have burgers, so at least I'm getting updated with that. But if you ever have transactions like I did today with splitting them, you can either, so if you go, let's say you go to Walmart and you have a huge transactions and some of it's household items, some of it's food, some of it's pet supplies. You can choose at the store to do separate transactions at the store. So you have a separate receipt for each cash envelope that you have. If not, you can split the receipt when you get home. Now, when I split my receipts like this, I don't worry about tax. Tax is $7.16. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out what tax was on these 3 different items. I'm just going to let it be. But I will separate out and go ahead and add up the different amounts for what was on the receipt, the different categories there when I split it up. Sometimes I'll use different highlighters like this to represent the different categories on the receipt to make it a little easier for me to process visually. But that's how I handle the different transactions. And that's really all I have for my main